Whispers of Wisdom, where we journey together through ancient wisdom and hidden practices, seeking what lies beyond.
I know you have a deep connection with your guru, our guru. And we spoke a little bit about Guru Tattva. Yeah?
Yes.
And we spoke about it's not so much about the person, but it's what's channeling through them. Tell me a little more. What is Guru Tattva?
The essence, tattva,
The essence.
the essence of a guru, the essence. What is guru? From darkness to light, guru. Someone who leads you from the darkness into light, and in the presence of a guru, he's able to understand that what the journey that you need, and how the journey that needs to unfold, and it's great to have someone watching over you as you walk the path.
Wow.
And it's important that you do not put absolute pressure on the guru. So you have to keep your sadhana going, and you have to, you have to know that there's an energetic that you share with the guru.
Once you receive a diksha,
Once you receive a diksha,
are in the lineage,
and under the lineage, you have a responsibility to the parampara. You have a responsibility to the lineage. And it's always that reverence. You have to stay in that reverence, no matter what the mind tells you.
Right.
And a guru helps you dissolve that. It's like spiritual surgery.
And
And
what do you mean?
How you work with the teacher, right? Like how the teacher works with you. There is this notion today in yoga land, as I call it.
Yoga land.
And in the exposition of spiritual paths, especially with social media and the deluge of people talking about it. I mean, everything is two sides of a coin, right? First, there is that celebration that everybody is now moving into an awakening of sorts, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
But as I said before, with great freedom, in the pursuit of that freedom, you have to embrace the responsibility.
Yeah.
And so there is so in yoga land, there is this imagination or this need that everything is about rainbows and roses, right? It's all going to be beautiful once I enter the spiritual journey.
Yeah.
I would request you to just let go of that expectation, and I don't want to say anything further. But that expectation set aside.
It's
You know
like
much better.
You're
than
just put on a frying pan and then you begin
Not
the dance.
necessarily. Like life, there is going to be a flow, a wave, constantly of ups and downs and everything else. And large part of the divine feminine, as I would talk about, is to embrace your shadow. Yeah, again, people are saying that I do not want to even acknowledge that I have these sides to me that may not be the most pleasant, to put it as gently as I can. Yeah, but hello, because when you cast light, you cast a shadow.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Right? There is a shadow with light, always. Light a lamp. And what do you see? You see the lamp, but you also see the shadow of the diya.
Absolutely.
I have this idol of Kamakshi. In fact, this morning when I was lighting my lamps and I was cleaning them, and I was just like looking at the same very idea that, you have to trim the wick for the light to be strong. Otherwise, even light can just blaze over.
Yeah.
So that constant care, even of a lamp, which symbolizes the lighting of the within. And, even I have this Kamakshi murti that was given to me, and I have a lamp in front of that, and there are days I come home and I see the Kamakshi silhouette like against the wall, and when I look at that silhouette, it's still Kamakshi, right? But it symbolizes the shadow aspects of the goddess.
Wow. Even the goddess is shadow, right? Like there are so many aspects of the goddess. Like they say, okay, women should not be strong or opinionated, like you say. Why not? Right? Like if I can be gentle, I can also be fierce. Like the constant duality is playing all the time. I can be as loving as I want to be, and when it's necessary, I can be very fierce and consciously compassionate. I can be raging. Why are you not embracing that if that energy resides in you? And then why are you not using that energy, transmuting it? Why are you constantly... You can't be kind if you haven't been unkind. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't live in integrity if you haven't lived in deep
And-
disintegrity or
yeah,
non-integrity.
and judgment. Like, please, I think first let's all judge ourselves.
Mm.
Right, and the choices that we're making, and the labeling. I think there's so much labeling today of this journey of what it is,
Yeah.
how one should be.
Yeah.
And when you talk of the tattva, when you sit in front of the guru, coming back from all of this to the tattva, when you sit in front of a master, or you're in a kshetra, and you're very clear from within, you will be able to embrace everything that boils up.
Mm.
And it could be from past lifetimes, it could be from memory, it could be guilt.
Mm. Mm.
Like, there are times that you haven't behaved properly.
Right.
Right? Like you've let anger take you over. We should all embrace those experiences. They are our teachers.
They are our teachers.
So Yoga Land is really not promoting and telling you that it's all okay, but it can't be like unbridled or uncontrolled rage or anger. The minute you recognize that you're angry,
Yeah.
and it's repeating, then it's a pattern. Let's address it. That's
right. I think I just want to repeat to remember that don't put pressure on the guru, do your sadhana.
Yes, absolutely.
Because if you've received something from him, it's your responsibility to stay.
And if you do this, and if you choose not to, I think that is between you and the
and that is
parampara,
also okay.
That is okay. But
at least
inform.
have the honesty to go and have that conversation.
Yeah,
and
in
be
whatever
done with
way,
that.
if you have the access to the
Yeah.
teacher. But it's a practice, Sapna. You know that.
Yeah.
It's constant commitment.
100%.
You know, when I started the path, I was actually very bohemian. I slam. And that's where I brought it back, right? Like I love going and dancing, and there is an expected sort of an Indian way that we're expected to be, like you said, a certain garb, and I love going and dancing and being out on the beach. There are those aspects that I've embraced. I've always grown up, and then this path just captured me through stories that I have shared with you, and when I started the path, when I had the courage to say that finally, like, I want to be able to do my work and my spiritual path equally.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's going to take a balancing act. I went into a shell. I went into a cave for like 5 to 6 years. My previous life was not of consequence or importance. I literally just moved away from it.
Wow. Previous life. This is a common thing that I've heard all deeply, spiritual seekers.
Yes.
When they've just taken on that path seriously, they always refer to their yesteryears as my past life.
Yeah, because I think you have a rebirthing.
Yeah.
It's literally like, I think there is one birth that you receive from your biological parents.
Yeah, yeah.
And you grow up with their nurture and kindness and the drama, whatever that life
Beautiful.
gives you with your parents. And then there is another rebirthing that happens when you meet the divine.
Beautiful.
And as most spiritual masters say, that this is the most important. If you're caught by the noose of Pashupati or Shiva, you should be blessed. Because if he catches the noose, yeah.
Deepti, something very profound is happening.
Okay.
Happening after 144 years. Your favorite topic. And we've seen a lot of buzz around it.
I've been to every single Kumbh Mela since
Have you?
2010. Yes.
Okay.
Including the Ardha Kumbh in 2019.
Got it. So our kids are not going to see. This is some rare combination, and this is...
Yeah. All the Kumbhs are rare combinations of planetary systems. Okay.
Okay. While there's a spiritual revolution, like what I'm seeing is like more women are going into the Kumbh Mela, they're feeling more safe. I've seen a lot of influencer friends of mine posting and saying the ghats are so clean and the water is so clean and there's beautiful arrangements happening and all of that, while visually pleasing and all the security is in place.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's also, we are generating a lot of garbage, and there's the after stories that's going to come out is like,
Okay.
So I'm asking, there's a spiritual revolution happening.
True.
Within each of us. We all want to arrive somewhere. Or I don't know if some of us are shopping.
Okay, that's very well put. That's very
Or
well
if
put.
some of us truly want to go and experience and feel what's
Shopping
happening
is
there.
a sort of part of the path, let's say, for a little while. Yeah.
Right. So a lot of us are speaking the spiritual language. We want to integrate in ourselves. We want to feel that oneness and all of that.
Okay.
But at the same time, we are the same people who are, buying 2-3 cars.
True.
We are ordering,
Swiggy.
Swiggies and Dunzos and Zeptos and all of that. We are wanting flyovers. We want more metros. Yeah. So what is happening? What is the spiritual consciousness? If it rises, isn't it supposed to also resonate with the world
Maybe a
outside
lot
as
more
well?
people need to rise for us to balance the number of people indulging in what you just talked about, cars and flyovers. And I think the consciousness has to rise a lot more. Recently there's this scientist, and I think this is a very popular quote that goes around, and he said that we thought that scientific intervention would change the world, but we've sadly realized that it is not the scientific invention, but and it's not even the greed and the apathy, but it's a cultural and a social revolution that is the last vestiges of surviving on the earth. So we have a responsibility to, I think, a cultural and a social and a spiritual revolution.
A spiritual revolution.
It's very important. And there is no spiritual revolution if we don't work in harmony with the earth.
Wow. So the microcosm and the macrocosm.
Absolutely.
Right? What is happening in your understanding? Like we see more and more digging, we see more and more climate changes happening. When it's snowing in places, countries are catching fires. And
It's very simple, I think, that, I'm so sad to say this sometimes, that just to put it into context, there was a few years ago something called the steel flyover protests, which I was very, very involved with. And it took about 9 months of my life. And we saved about 854 trees in Bangalore. But it took so much out of me, from my everyday life, from my functioning.
it's a full-term pregnancy.
It's a full-term pregnancy, which is what I always say. And it started on the day of Vijayadashmi.
Wow.
Yeah, like the first video that was like the mastermind to get that human chain was the day of Vijayadashmi. It's a really fun story. I'll share with you some other time.
Sure.
But, you saved the trees and it was beautiful. But people used to say things like, why are you fighting so hard, yeah? We'll cut the tree and we'll plant another one. Why are you wasting our time? Why are you doing... And I'm like, did you not study biology? Like, this tree has been here for hundreds of years. And you've been on the planet maybe 40, 50 years. This tree is older than you. The tree is wiser than you. It gives you oxygen. It absorbs your carbon dioxide. You obviously did not pay attention in biology. And even if you plant the tree today, it's not going to be this before you die.
Yeah.
That simple understanding that Mother Nature has life. Like what we said before, the Pancha Mahabhutas, earth, water, air, fire, ether, exists outside of us as much as they exist within us. And Mother Nature and that relationship of microcosm and macrocosm is the relationship of the human being with nature.
Right.
And so important in the Pancha Mahabhutas.
Yeah, almost everything human beings do is copied from nature.
Absolutely,
Right?
biomimicry.
Yeah, right. So the more we destroy nature, do you think it's also the end of human existence?
Of course.
In a way.
Nature doesn't need us, we need her. She doesn't need us. One instance of, I'm done with y'all, COVID, for example, I'm done with y'all, I will continue. I don't need human life.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are so, the domination of nature seems to have been a cultural and industrial narrative over the last 250 years.
Yeah.
And that also reflects on the domination of women's bodies and women's rights.
How so?
When you dominate nature, and you pollute her rivers and you cut her forests and you drill her. You're drilling into the womb of Mother Nature, deep into the Earth's core surface or deep into the ocean.
Wow.
And you're creating a lot of imbalance. And that very imbalance is reflected in the gender wars of society.
Wow.
in the expectations of women and how they should be and men, and look at how the imagined union of marriage, or at least legal marriage between people you have opinions about that, how they're all crumbling away.
Yeah.
How men and women are not understanding each other. Why we're bringing in so much violence into what is supposed to be harmony.
Yeah.
Ardhanarishwara.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Purusha and Prakriti. We have references. Mythology is absolute references. And the more we damage the earth, there is going to be more gender divide. And the more we damage the earth, there are going to be more infertility issues.
Wow. Okay.
Because the microcosm is linked to the macrocosm.
So it's not a surprise that women have PCODs and
Not at all.
infertility issues, and
You're also with you're affecting, if you really look at deep research and look at the people who've dedicated their lives into regenerative medicine and Ayurveda and any sort of practice that works very closely with the principles of nature. You will see that after the effects of people born through intervention is very different from natural human life.
okay.
I'm very blessed to be surrounded by women, and over the last 25 years of my life, I've been in women's circles, and I had to keep all of this really quiet because, like, what are you doing? This is so abnormal. Like, why?
Yeah.
You said, why do most women don't want to come out? Because I was like, I'm tired of the judgment. It feels right to me. I'd rather keep it quiet.
Wow. Wow.
So until we stop damaging the earth, and we know that every time we click our mobile phones that we're affecting the earth, we're using generative AI, we're affecting the earth. We're eating out of plastic or little mineral water bottles.
My God.
Water and plastic combination is carcinogenic. And when we drink that into our bodies, we're changing the ecology of the body. We're
Yes.
damaging the ecology of the earth. Don't tell me that we're not going to have imbalance.
And that's why you bought your own water bottle. That is not a plastic
that is my
water
favorite
bottle.
water bottle. It's been through all the kumbhs as well, by the way.
We offered Deepti water and she said, no, I have my own water bottle. And yeah, I can see. So it feels
Water
like
is mineral. It's charged.
it's charged water.
It's charged
Yes.
water.
Yeah.
Water has life. I'm a water therapist. I've spent 6 years of my life studying water.
Okay.
Water has energy. Water has life. I've had amazing experiences of working with people in the water.
Yeah. And
This
you
is
have
a living
water-like
entity.
quality, the flow. Yeah.
This is a living entity. And I must be very conscious of how I'm going to put this, because annam aushadhi. Water is medicine. Food is medicine.
Beautiful.
Everything is medicine. Just shift that. And be conscious, yeah? I'm not here to say and preach and say, you can't do this. I don't know. Every individual has a different life.
Sure, yeah.
But these are the choices that I made for myself, and they seem to work for me.
It feels like our conversation so far has, been around women in spirituality. So I'm
Okay.
going to, on the same lines, I've been seeing a lot of reels and shots on Kumbh. And I don't know whether you
So
like
have I.
Kumbh or not. You're going to Kumbh, isn't it? We're going at the same time. We're going there next month.
I can't imagine not being there, and I hope with the grace of Lord Shiva that the journey is going to be smooth, and the Devi, yes.
Yes. So, women in spirituality especially, so I saw this where this lady, really, really beautiful looking lady, took Diksha, she's with the Guru, she's doing Seva, and there were so many things that were told about her that,
By who?
why have you got your eyebrows done? Why are you wearing a lipstick? Why is your hair colored? She has nails. She's painted her nails. And then they also connected her, saying that she has a relationship with the guru, that she had taken Diksha and she was in Seva. She just had to leave the Kumbh.
Really?
She just left. She was in tears. She said all of the things that you all have said, and the media kept following her. They wouldn't leave her. At first,
When you mean
it
media,
started
what
with
do you mean by
just like social media? Just
Okay.
people. Everybody is now a media person because you have a smartphone. You can just
Yes.
whip your phone out and you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
make.
yeah.
So it started with saying that, oh, look at this beautiful lady. She gave up her everything and she's come to spirituality. And then it became like, oh,
Hold on a moment, just there before you continue. You don't have to give up anything to be spiritual. You can live your everyday life and still be spiritually endowed. That is the first myth to bust. Continue.
Yeah. And then it became about her looking too good to be in this in this spiritual journey. And then it became that if she is here, she must be having, you know, some relationship with her guru. It was just so demeaning at many levels. It was so hard to watch, you know. And then she cried and she left. And then there, you know, about this girl who was selling beads. You know,
Yes,
she
that-
was
that of
just
course,
doing
yes.
her thing. And then, you know, now people have given her homes. She's been offered movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for her.
Good for her. Really good
Yeah,
for her.
like, good for
but
her. I
then
hope wish her well.
she had to be whisked away. Now she has security. It's just difficult.
To
Is
live?
being a good-looking woman in spirituality difficult? You tell me. You're a good-looking woman.
So are you.
Thank you.
I've always called you that. You
Yeah,
from day one, from the
You-
beach.
You're very kind. Yes.
Yeah, before I knew your name.
Yeah. So, women in spirituality. Is there
Oh,
is there
Sapna,
a
you're really asking me some
dress code?
some questions that are meant for a nice tea time party. But okay, how do you want me? So break it up. So many levels and answers to this question. So why are women in why are good-looking women in spiritual? Or why are women in spirituality not expected to look good?
Yes. That's
is
the
that
question.
the question?
Yeah. Yeah, are we not supposed to do our nails? Shouldn't we go to the
I
parlor?
think it comes from a very old school, archaic, calcified idea of the woman in spirituality. It comes from what is expected. And when you know, every time you, like, you know, when we do something new, there's a little bit of trepidation, right? Like, oh, this is new. How am I supposed to get through it? Sadhana, for example.
Yeah.
That is a
Yes.
great example between us.
Right.
I think for the world, women in spirituality must not hold any of the external rupa of the Devi that they worship. It's just bizarre and absurd.
Yeah.
We worship Devi Kamakshi and Chamundi, you know, and she's resplendent, right? She's like when you see her in her form, and she's just like that. And what do they say? Microcosm, macrocosm. Ma, may your qualities, may I imbibe your qualities. We worship goddesses that are all dressed up in their absolute splendor.
Yeah.
But in real life, when women want to embark on that path, we expect them to be sadhus. and that to non-glamorous sadhus.
Non-glamorous. New hashtag.
Yeah. Why? Why is there a set of rules for a journey of the unknown? Right? Of course, I'm not saying that there has to, if the woman is naturally beautiful, celebrate it, no? It is an aspect of the goddess.
Yeah.
And great that she's had that unfolding to be able to receive Diksha from a master. Leave her alone.
Right.
First, you want to celebrate the beauty. You know, it almost seems like you've said that they put a camera on this woman because she was beautiful.
Yes.
And then decided that because she was beautiful, she was not worthy of anything else.
100%. Yeah. That's what it is. Absolutely. Yeah.
And then this is then, you know, I don't know, what do you call them? It goes viral, or, you know, there are 101 opinions about it. Shut the noise. Cut the noise out. And men do want to marry beautiful women. No, let's look at the matrimonial columns, or, you know,
Very specific.
Very specifically,
From
that
height to
everybody
complexion
wants
to everything.
Yeah, like of course dusky toned women compared to that. So why?
Yeah.
This is the calcified notion, and again I think this again is going deeper into the gender divide. It is the time of the rise of the divine feminine. Women spiritual leaders will rise. And in my idea and understanding, I do not think that they will rise in the expected ways.
How do you envision that
As a collective.
as a collective?
They will rise together. We will empower each other. And I think this is the rise of the feminine. So you may even be able to, it's not about gender as much as that we understand the circular ideas of compassion, kindness, awareness, fierce compassion at the same time. Intuition. Yeah, all the feminine ideas, especially gut brain, body brain, more awareness in the body. I think we will rise together. And this is the Devi that will rise in all sorts of, on all human beings. Yeah, but again, having said this, it does take work.
It does.
And I think there have been women in women's circles over the last few years that have understood that we're going to get to a place where,
Beautiful.
we will have to step up. And this podcast with you is me having the spiritual self-confidence to step up and speak honestly.
It is the celebration of the divine feminine, this podcast. Absolutely.
Yeah, and
through
thank you
and
for
through
that.
Your words of wisdom.
I've always said that, that there's so much that people talk about, and there are, I don't even know, I think the men behind the cameras can tell me zillions of podcasts, right? Like it literally, my brain just shuts down when I go into Spotify, because so many podcasts there. How does the podcast select you? I mean, it almost is like, what do you want to listen to? You can't listen to too much. You can't overeat. Like it literally, you can't even overeat with listening. And I was so nervous to be here. When you asked me, I was like, okay, just go with the flow. Let's just speak honestly, because
No, you're so full of wisdom. From the day I met you, I knew that your body holds wisdom, that your mind holds wisdom, that your heart holds wisdom. In just the way you do things, your choices that you made in your life, the way you show up, the way you even speak to just people around you. And when you arrive, my God, I've seen you arriving in spaces, and then something is happening there and everybody is just turning around. They haven't even seen that you're coming, but your energy enters before you do.
Thank you. Again, the grace of what must be channeled through me. I think you can't get attached to all of this. I mean, it's all transient, and it's going to flow any which way. I think as long as I stay in a sense of response and awareness and kindness, that's what it is. And I think all women, I mean, I love the word intuition. Two words that I kind of keep away from using too much is the big, serpent fire. You know what I'm talking about? And
shall I say it?
No. and this whole
everybody knows what serpent fire is.
Yes. Let's just leave it at that. And this intuitiveness, right? Like, again, there's so much that person is toxic and this person is narcissistic, and you're constantly labeling human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah. A woman who's beautiful should not be spiritual. A spiritual woman must actually be absolutely natural. Why? Sringara, I want to look beautiful for myself, not for anybody else. Yeah, Rupa attracts, no?
Yeah,
like just what you said, it attracts. It can't be the only thing, but it is important. And I think this sort of media noise is giving the wrong information.
Yeah.
It's changing people's heads.
I have one last question for you. Why is Mother Nature, or even our Devi, so kind that in spite of everything that we do and all that we inflict, what is the timelessness of this wisdom? Why does she still hold us?
Because she's all
life
pervading.
just continues.
Because she's all pervading. I mean, nature doesn't need us. We need her. It's so simple. She's everything. She's our breath, as much as our digestive fire, as much as the energy in the heart. She's the energy that fuels the brain. She's Annapurneshwari as our food. Tell me one aspect of even this interaction, whether it's inanimate or animate, is she's not fueling that. She's the river, but she's also the energy that moves the river. You have stagnant water, but she's also the energy that moves the river. She's everywhere. And living life in that resonance, knowing that from the time I wake up, that every action of mine is an energetic of the great goddess divine feminine. And even the greatest of great masters have always said that from worshipping the male trinities or the male gods, I've always had to come back and understand that I've had to come to my heart. From the head, I've had to go. From the, Agneya Chakra, I've had to move into the Anahata. Right? Like I've had to have the descent. Yeah, it is the descent into the human body. And then the perplexing idea that, just taking this example, a beautiful woman is not the Devi, but how is she going to express herself? Her beauty, I mean, it can, if it's a natural beauty, then why not? I mean, cinema is fueled by it, right? Like she's everywhere. It's just that tuning and the resonance. people will understand it. Do not underestimate the intelligence of this society. I never have. People have different sorts of intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tend to celebrate one sort of bookish intelligence.
Right.
Like someone who can absorb and talk from the scriptures or from like textbooks and things like that. But there is many resonances of intelligence in all human beings, and it is our duty to awaken our intelligence and to be able to express that intelligence.
Beautiful. And you did just that today. Thank you so much.
Thank
really,
you.
it's been a pleasure having you here. So many pearls of wisdom, so many things that deeply resonated and touched my heart, and also many, many moments of courage that I have received from your experience. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you for opening up the space. It means a lot. And good luck on this journey.
Yes.
And thank you to everyone back behind the cameras as well. It's been beautiful. We've had a lovely time. And thank you for the laughter. It made it very easy.
We'll have you back soon again. There's a lot more to unpack and
Yes.
a lot more to...
This
you
is
know,
a
we need
beginning.
your fiery opinions on many, many more things.
And it's a beginning, I think, to be able to share.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. See you soon.
Yeah.
You heard, you saw, you experienced our banter, our laughter. You journeyed with us. If any of this resonated with you, consider sharing this podcast. I'll see you again in the next episode.